want to go ahead and let everybody know that TireMinder is not a sponsor of this show. I went out and bought these products myself, so they are not a sponsor of this video. Hey everyone, Tim here, the Kelly Corner. Well, if you have seen my previous videos, I've had a couple of times when I've had a blowout on my RV, and I figured it was time to invest in a TPMS, tire pressure monitoring system. Lots of research I've done, a lot of things online about many different varieties. Some have more features than others. The one that I kind of liked and the one that I've done research with, and one that's probably reviewed a lot on YouTube, is this TireMinder TPMS i10-4. This is the one I decided to go with. It's mid-range price when it comes to other TPMS systems. TPMS systems can range, from less than $100, all the way up to $300 or $400. But this one has a middle of the line. It's got all the things I really need that I feel comfortable with. And my thoughts are that with one of these installed on my RV and on the tires, that it may warn me, or I may get some warning before my tire ends up doing damage to my RV, which it has done twice. So it's time to invest in this. This comes with a full color 3.5-inch digital LCD. You can view up to 10 tire readings at once. I don't need that. I got only 2 tires on mine. I may be upgrading to a dual axle though down the line here. This monitors up to 20 tires. You can add some more of these transmitters here. You can purchase more. This comes with 4. Monitors up to 4 different vehicles. 3-year warranty. With this, got a signal booster in here that's included, which is this right here. So let's go ahead and get this open, and we'll see what it takes to get this thing set up, and we can kind of go from there. Oh, yeah. All right. Your display. Nice little antenna and receiver. This comes off. Got another little box here. This has got all the gadgets, all the accessories. Yep, sure does. Cigarette lighter 12-volt charging port here that goes to your unit, your display unit here to keep it charged. Some zip ties. That's nice of them to do that. I have tons of these things, but it's good that they include that in case you don't. Here's the booster. The booster ready to go. And you got one of your little suction cup guys if you want to mount your display on your windshield. We'll see. I don't think I need that. What do we got in here? Probably have the sensors in here. Let's see. Got your limited warranty card, instruction book, color. All right. Wow, comes with batteries. That is super cool. Look at that. 6 batteries. Awesome. Some mounting brackets. I think this has to do with the sensors. I'm not 100% sure. Oh, cool. Really neat. Really neat sticker here. I like that. Just keep that right in there. So you can see that larger kits would come with 6 to 12 of these sensors here, but I only got the 4. I really only need 2, but yeah, these sensors look pretty nice. Let's just go ahead and see what we can do about getting this kind of set up. Okay, TireMinder recommends mounting the booster on a small travel trailer like this, somewhere in the front near the battery compartment. And they say that this is weather resistant here. A little concerned because there's a hole up here, but the research I've done on YouTube, from what I gather, they recommend that you mount this with the antennas facing down. So that's something that's not in the instructions, but I think that's something that I came across in some other channels, YouTube videos, where they were having issues with their TPMS, this particular model, and their tech support said that it's a good idea to mount the booster with the antennas facing straight down. So that's what I did here. This is where I decided to mount this. It's perfect. It's kind of out of the way. And I think I would like to do is go ahead and we're going to clip this onto our battery with these two clips. And then I'm probably going to tuck the rest of the wire down into here and then put my lid on. So let's just see how that works out. Okay, obviously black is negative, red is positive. Going to stretch these out a little bit. This will go on the negative here. Let me do the positive first. It's pretty good there, I think. Do the negative here. Yeah, that's a little better there. I like that. Go around the post here. Just like that. Then I have a green light down here, which is what you want to see. I think I might just zip these up tight. Let me get some zip ties. Okay, I've got this kind of zip tied up like this here. The excess, I'm going to kind of tuck it down in here in this battery compartment. I think it'll be pretty safe down in there. Tuck the excess down in there like that. If I could do it like this, let's see, tuck it back around this battery case. Push it against it. And there we go. Show you what I got. Got everything hooked up to the battery. I've got the excess tucked down in here. I've got my line running along this rail. I got it kind of tucked back. I got the battery kind of pushing against it a little bit. Should be fine like that. And then I'll put my cover on the battery. You notice here how I got a green light. And then this light right here should flash every about 4 seconds. I haven't seen it flash any though. So by default, without any kind of changes and that it senses, it'll just send out every few minutes. Haven't seen it send out anything yet, but you know, we'll see. You know, this little hole up top here kind of bothers me, worries me. It says it's weather resistant, weatherproof. We'll see. Anyway, let me put this cover on here. Pretty inconspicuous. Might mount that there a little bit better, but whoop, I think I just saw it flash. Okay. Let's go to the next step. Once you have your booster mounted, let's go to the next step. Okay, I've went out and I've be sure proper tire pressure was in my RV tires before I started this. It's been sitting for about a month, so I just wanted to top off the air and get it at the pressure that I like. Our next step is going to be putting batteries in these transmitters, but I just wanted to point out that while I was doing all this, I wanted to be sure I went ahead and had this receiver charged. So I plugged in the charger to a USB port on my computer and just made sure we get all the way full bars. So this is ready to go. We'll get to this in a minute. We're going to go ahead and put batteries in these transmitters. Okay, I got 3 of these. Why do I have 3? Well, I got 2 on my axle and I'm going to go ahead and put 1 on my spare just because I can. So let's go ahead and get the batteries put in. It's just as simple as unscrewing the cap of the transmitter and sliding the battery in with the writing side up. So we'll go ahead and do that to each one of these. And we got a nice rubber O-ring around the lip here that will keep that pretty watertight. Okay, I have got all 3 of these powered up and ready to roll. Let's go to the next step. So when you first turn on your monitor here, you're going to see this you'll see monitoring here in the middle. You're going to see a M down here. What we have to do is switch to learning mode, and the way you do that is you press and hold right and left. Press and hold that for 5 seconds, and that's going to put it in learning mode. And in learning mode, you can kind of go to each one of these settings. Whichever one's flashing is the one you're going to pair it with. Okay, and so there's another mode you could go to where you can choose up to 20 tires. We're going to stick with the simple one right now, but this is how you go through each one. And what you do is once you select the one that you want, because this will be my right wheel on my RV, on my travel trailer. Mine's quite simple because I only have one axle, 2 wheels, and a spare. Obviously, this is be something good for when I upgrade. But once this is flashing, basically you have 15 seconds from the time this is flashing to put one of these on the corresponding tire for it to register. So I'm going to go do that now. Okay, going to go ahead and put these other 2 on, and we'll see what reading we get there. I got to go to that one. That one's on. Let's see what that reads. Very good. There it is. There it is. Okay, here's our other one. Looking good. What are we going to use for our spare? I'm just going to go down here and choose that one for the spare. Let's just choose that one. It's just that easy. Wow, that was high. Right. So basically, now that we're back in monitoring mode, this bounces between my spare tire and my 2 tires on the RV. But let's just say you think you messed up, or you want to change your configuration. Basically, you just want to start over. Well, I'm going to show you how to do that here. You're going to power on the unit. I've taken all of the transmitters off of the vehicle. Okay, and basically what we're going to do is we're going to go back to the learning mode here. To go to learning, we got to go back to learning mode. So to go to learning mode, we're going to press and hold the left and right for 5 seconds. We're in learning mode, and now while in learning mode, we're going to go ahead and press the center and right buttons, hold that down, and that clears everything. So that's what we want to do. Now, since we're in learning mode, we can go ahead and start over. I'll start with that one. And once again, it's flashing. Let me go put this transmitter on that tire. I've also reset my tire pressure, so this is another reason why I'm doing this. I'm just going to select this one, like I said, for my spare tire. Let me go out and put the transmitter on. Okay, as you can see there, my spare is reading at 58. Now I have more tire pressure in that because my spare tire, I'm monitoring that because, well, it gives me a peace of mind of knowing that if I ever have to use my spare tire in an emergency, that it is good to go. I also know that that spare tire probably won't be used for quite some time, hopefully never. And I know that it's going to end up just losing pressure naturally, but I can always monitor that. And if I have to let air out to use it, I can always do that. But it's a peace of mind of knowing that we are monitoring that tire. So I got the pressures that I want. So I'm going to go back to monitoring mode by pressing these 2 outside buttons here, left and right. Monitoring mode there. Another great thing to note at this point is that while you're in monitoring mode, at any point in time, you can press and hold the middle button and the right button. Hold those down while in monitoring mode. And this will perform what's called an auto search mode. And basically it'll blank out all of your tire readings, and it'll blank out all the temperature readings and thresholds. And it will start over getting readings off your transmitters again. This is in case if it's been in storage for a long time, your monitoring system has been off for overnight, like the next morning when you get up. And also if you like lose connection to one of your transmitters, it's another good time to perform that. Now keep in mind, doing that, it will take up to 20 minutes to get everything read again and up to date. So keep that in mind. Nice little feature there though, I would say. Okay, now we're going to set up our baseline tire pressures. It just so happens that my travel trailer has been sitting, so this is cold. Your baseline pressure, your tire pressure to be while they are cold. This is probably, you'll have to use your best judgment on that. A lot of RVs, and most RVs, have a sticker on the inside or somewhere that recommends tire pressure. And also there's a tire recommendation on the tire itself, but that pressure is usually the max pressure. But if you're carrying loads and all, I would stick more closer to your trailer's sticker recommendations. But there are other ways to determine what tire pressure you want. That will be in for another video. I'll just keep these. I'll put 52 here, 52 here for my baseline. Okay, the reason setting your baseline is so important is because that is how the TireMinder unit here will know when to sound an alarm. If there's a rapid leak, there'd be a pressure loss of 3 psi or more in less than 2 minutes. A slow leak is a pressure loss of 6 psi or more in 2 to 10 minutes. Low pressure is pressure loss of 15% of the baseline pressure. These are alerts that this will give you. Rapid leak, slow leak, low pressure. High pressure is pressure increase of 20% or more from the baseline. High temperature, internal tire temperature of 167 degrees Fahrenheit or greater. So that's why setting these baselines are so important. Okay, this is what we have to do to enter into the pressure setting mode. So we'll press and hold the center button. Okay, now you see the P, that's for pressure. This says PSI. You can change that to barometric pressure if you like. We're going to keep it at PSI. If you press the middle button again one time, this will take you to the temperature in Fahrenheit. This will take you to temperature in Celsius. We want Fahrenheit, we'll leave it there. Press the middle button one more time. This is going to be right here where we set our baseline tire pressure. So I'm going to take that down to 52. Okay, we're going to press the center button again. You can set that to whatever you like, but my baseline is going to be 52. And once again, I'm just going to set this one at 55, because I know that tire is going to do nothing but lose air. We should be safe with that, okay? Okay, and now we have set everything we need, all right? So we're going to press and hold that middle button again, and that's going to put us back in monitoring. And now we are all set. Let's talk for a minute about this little bit of hardware. Great thing about TireMinder, they also give you the little O-rings that you need to replace. They recommend once a year. That's to keep your transmitters watertight. So they provide you with an extra set of those for each transmitter. They really highly recommend that you don't go to places like Home Depot to purchase these. You need to get it from them because it's a specific size, and if it don't fit right, you have a potential of getting water in your transmitters, which is bad. These little guys, you would think this would be just to secure the transmitter to the valve stem. It's actually anti-theft. So you look at these instructions, it tells you how to install that with this hardware, and it'll definitely deter anybody from just simply walking up and unscrewing those transmitters. Okay, we're here in our tow vehicle, and the next thing I want to talk about is where to mount our monitoring system. Now they do have a windshield monitoring suction cup that you can mount somewhere up on your window. That may work for some. Me personally, I can't stand it when something's suction cupped to my window, although I've had it before in other vehicles But the idea now is, other than that, there's no real way to mount it. But I found a pretty cool place. If you can find a nice place, it could even be laying down somewhere, in a cup holder. It could be laying in something like this. But it's good to have it in a place to where you can keep an eye on it. I've even had suggestions about mounting it on the back window, and that way when you look in your rear view mirror, you can see the tire pressures. I don't particularly know if I care for that either, but I guess that would work. Here's the place that I found. Oh yeah, let me show you how I did this. Oh, this is a Ford F-150. I don't know if your vehicle has something similar, but I took this right here is the piece that fits onto the suction cup. I took that off and just slid it onto the back of the monitor here, of the receiver, and then I tightened up this antenna really good in that position that it's in now. And this extra thickness gives it the support that it needs so it doesn't slide anywhere. And it just fits so nicely up there, and it will not go anywhere. I'm going to go ahead and turn it on. Well, maybe I should have turned it on first because I can't even hit the button. Let's turn it on. So that works out pretty darn good. And for charging, obviously we can run the USB line either out of one of our USB cables or from that 12-volt cigarette lighter connector that I showed you guys earlier. And we could just run it up over the mirror here and run it and plug it in right there so it can stay charging while you're driving. So that worked out pretty darn well. I really do like that. Perfect place just to kind of glance up and keep an eye on your tire pressures, and it's not in the way of any reviewing. Hey, if any of you guys have this system and you've come up with a clever way to mount it, and then let me know down in the chat below this video. I'd like to know about it. I thought it was pretty interesting how I found that perfect spot like that. It worked out really good. I'm going to go ahead and tow the RV here for several miles and see what kind of differences in temperatures we get. Look at that. That one's already jumped up to 55 just sitting, but we do have direct sun hitting it right now. It's a very hot day. We'll see how it goes. Okay, been riding about 15 minutes or so on the highway here. Riding close to 60 miles an hour. You can see the temperatures have gone up several degrees, and that's something to be expected. But it appears this monitoring system is working properly. I'm probably going to take a couple of pounds out of that left front tire there because it read a couple of pounds higher anyways, being cold. So obviously it reads a couple of pounds higher now, being warmer. But we went from 52 to 56 so far on that right tire. So yeah, it's doing its job. So now I have the peace of mind of knowing as I drive on my trip that my tires are being monitored. If the pressure gets too high or if the temperature gets too hot, I'll get an alarm. If the pressure starts getting a little low and getting low, I will get an alarm. I can't see my tires through my mirrors, so that may help prevent damage to my RV as we've had before with blowouts for whatever reason. It won't totally eliminate the threat, but it will at least give me a peace of mind, and it may prevent damage to my RV. By the way, the high temperature rating is there. If that goes off, that could very well mean that your wheel bearings are going bad. That causes a lot of heat and friction in the axle, and that transfers out to your rims and your tires. So something to keep in mind. Really nice system here, the TireMinder. Quite impressed with it so far. We'll see. Carries a 3-year warranty. This is Tim with D. Kelly Corner. Happy camping.